Anne, are you crazy?
I'm not crazy now. I lived a crazy life. I was raised in a crazy family, and it took me 31 years to get the crazy out of me. I had another personality. I had a fantasy world that I escaped to. I called my other personality Celestia. I called the other world that I created for myself the fourth dimension. I believed I was from that world. I believed I was from another planet. I think I was insane.
How did it manifest itself? What were your powers? What did you see in yourself?
Wow. So many different things. What could I do when I was Celestia? I spoke a different language. I spoke a different language that God and I spoke together. I could, you name it, I could do it. I could see into the future. I could heal people.
Can you still remember that language you spoke?
Of course.
Can you do any of it?
Sure. What would you like me to say?
I don't know. Anything.
Well, the word for God, okay, a lot of it is prayer. The word for God in my language was called Kines. Kines, akaforka tuna don. It is a good fortune, ista don, to be here.
And that's a language you never
I don't know where it came
learned,
from.
and not even know what it means.
I was, in my mind, learning it from God.
Greetings, humans. My name is Lika, and I am a starseed influencer. Now, what is a starseed, you ask? There are actually 6 types of us, including Martian, Venusian, Gray, Syrian, and Pleiadian, which is the type of starseed I am. The Pleiadians come from the Pleiades system, which is near Orion's belt, and we are characterized by, among other things, our blue eyes and our blonde hair, also referred to as Nordic features. And many of the associations of Pleiadian starseeds come from parts of Europe in the 1930s and 40s, but we won't get into that. And I realized that I was a starseed after decades of feeling not quite human, like I didn't belong here, like I was not of this world. And when I started having dreams of my alien world, of my home planet, and it started to make sense. And I took so many online quizzes. I paid thousands of dollars for seminars to learn how to access my past life memories. And then I learned I have had over 1,000 human lives and so many lives from my home planet.
The dark side of being a starseed. The Matrix will reject you. You will be blocked from any kind of normal life. You go try to get a 9-to-5, you will be traumatized as fuck. Because you have a lot of light, you will draw in very dark people. On top of that, you will play the black sheep and the cycle breaker in your bloodline, which means you will have to go no contact with certain family members at different points. You'll also have extreme rejection sensitivity from all the experiences of public humiliation. You will also never sync up with societal timelines. Advanced souls master the 3D later on in life because you're so busy just trying to survive this planet. On top of that, you are seen as the crazy conspiracy theorist because you are awake and aware to what is going on this planet. But ever since the Epstein files dropped, you're less crazy. Starseeds will often end up in rehabs and mental health centers. And we are literally gaslit to think that we are insane. Your mental health struggles are because you're super psychic trying to navigate this dense ass planet. It's fucking ghetto here. But the good news is your soul saw all this shit and knew that it was going to help shift this planet. And your soul volunteered here to help the masses. So yeah, if you feel like you've had a little bit of a harder life or it's been a little more fucked up, that's how you know you have a higher destiny. And if you want more support blowing up, comment the word upgrade below and I'll teach you how.
How does a person get possessed by a demon? And then how does he know he's possessed?
There's 3 ways. The first is you commit some grave sin, like abortion, murder, engaging in the occult arts, 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 selling your soul to the devil, stuff like that. So you do something really bad. The other is something really disordered or grave has happened to you. About 50% of our caseload are women who have been psychologically or physically abused in a grave fashion. And that disorder is the domain of the diabolic. And so that opens the person up to getting possessed. And people say, well, that doesn't seem fair. Well, that's true in one sense. On the other hand, Christ permits it. And what you find very often, especially the women, you'll find this, as they climb their way out, they become some of the most holy people you'll ever meet. Because the amount of virtue they have to obtain to engage in the battle becomes pretty significant.
Drugs in general are a big open door for spirits, bad spirits. One of my worst cases of possession was a Catholic guy, young guy, maybe 25-ish, up in Nashville. He's out drinking, the bars are closing, and he says to his buddies, let's go get some drugs. And the guy goes, oh, I know a place. So they go to this house in a neighborhood at like 2 a.m. Think about this. You're knocking on somebody's door at 2 a.m. Like, you got to be thinking, this is a little crazy. Who does that? And they open the door, they come in, and it's lit by candle, and there's upside down crucifixes and pentagrams around on the walls. And I said to this young man, when I'm interviewing, I go, like, what happened to your spidey senses? Like, nothing went off when you saw this stuff? He's like, I just wanted the drugs. So he gets some, I think it was crack. As soon as he smoked it, he felt the demon enter him. And that was the beginning of about a 6-month ordeal to get it out. And he knows it happened from the drug, because the drug probably had a curse on it.
Interesting.
To attach demons to it. So if you're buying, well, I use it. I would have said years ago, if you're buying stuff off the street, you don't know what you're getting. Truly, both in the natural and supernatural. What I would add today is some of these pharmaceutical stuff, the same thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting.
I mean, I don't know though. Is it really considered a drug? I mean, because America's put that stipulation on it, or is it a medicine that comes from nature? And so if it is a medicine that comes from nature that people are finding healing from, I don't understand that is from God, correct? I mean, there's no additives, there's no chemicals, there's none of that that's being injected in it. It is simply, was it the Reagan administration? I think it was the Reagan administration, maybe that kind of, maybe Nixon. I'm off on this, but a president basically, there was, because of the hippie movement and the abuse.
It was Reagan.
They scheduled it as some type of a drug or narcotic. But, I mean, coming out with all the research, I'm going too heavy into this, it's helping a lot of people. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
I'm sometimes identifying as a black transgender lesbian. That conversation, that decision, I think personally, is something that's going to, be made collectively by people assigned female at birth, and they're going to have to decide whether or not any institutions for females, women assigned female at birth, are valuable anymore. I don't think, why do we need those? We should just make the game as entertaining as possible, as valuable as possible, right? As profitable as possible. It's obvious that if LeBron James and me and Enos and Kyrie Irving or any of the other, men assigned male at birth people, players decide to come over, the game will be much more entertaining and much more competitive.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a global exclusive for you. Roysha White is a woman who is stunning and brave. And we have this exclusive breaking news. Last night, Roysha White hosted 2 hours of Sunday Night Live, and she announced her plan to go into the WNBA draft, the women's NBA. And here's the Gateway Pundit has picked up the story. Former NBA player Royce White, now a woman, throws her wig and everything else she's got into the ring and embraces her feminine era ahead of 2027 NBA draft bid. So Roysha White joins us right now to give us more details of this. And of course, this is serious. Roisha is formerly a male, but switched out, the chromosomes, the X and Ys, and moved those around. And we have to support this one. We support biological men in boxing and in MMA and in track and field and in everything else. And so this is a very serious move by former Royce White, now Roisha White. And so I'm wondering if the WNBA is going to try to block this. We actually have some footage that will also be showing you of Roisha actually on the basketball court in some of the earlier tryouts and what unfolded there. So we were showing some of that earlier before Roisha joined us, but I do want to show that again. So Roisha, I want to just say that, ma'am, it is an honor to have you. And I just can't wait to see you be the #1 woman in the WNBA. I know you're a great basketball player, did pretty good against the men there. I wouldn't say you're up there at Michael Jordan level, but I think you will be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. So congratulations, ma'am. And I just want to say that I think you're stunning and brave.
You're listening to The Rundown Live with Kriston T. Harris.
Now, you don't know it yet, but you are listening to History in the Making while you are listening to this show.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man, yet as mortal as his own.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Censored by the mainstream media, the destroyer of fake news, and your host of The Rundown Live, Kriston T. Harris.
You're listening to The Rundown Live. I'm your host, Kriston T. Harris, Milwaukee's independent news and talk radio, and we have a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we do that, I want to remind you, smash that like button. Share this live feed, tag your friends, put it into their messenger feed, share it on your groups, and leave a comment. Let us know that you're here, and today we're going to be covering some interesting topics. One of the questions, if you guys want a little food for thought, are trans people demonically possessed? Are starseeds demonically possessed? We're going to talk about starseeds. We're going to talk about trans people. We're going to talk about uncomfortable things today. And we're going to talk about robots. We're going to talk about the New Age movement. Where did it come from? William Cooper warned about the mystery religion for years and years and years. And I have to ask, is the trans movement part of the New Age movement? Is it part of the mystery religion? And we're going to have all sorts of answers and questions, and we're going to go through what are starseeds, and we're going to play some of these videos that we're seeing come across my, TikTok feed. Why is it that starseeds accrue 1 billion views? And if you don't know what those are, we're going to get into all that in today's broadcast. But before we do, I got to let you guys know. You guys want to subscribe and help this broadcast, go to Ground Zero Plus Radio. GroundZeroPlus.com. You can go there and actually download the very free Ground Zero Plus app. You can just click on the link on their website, Google Play, iPhone, go get it, and you can listen to this broadcast live and AM Wake Up, which airs right before this program. And by the way, Steve Poikinen over there does a wonderful job. I'm really excited that he's moved on over to our syndication. And if you guys don't know, Big Daddy Clyde Lewis will be coming back soon. He did a very heartfelt message, and this Sunday, I did something a little different. I went to church. I was originally planning to go to a Greek Orthodox church. I wanted to learn more about it because the more I study, the more I grow as a Christian, the knowledge has become a very important part to me. When I was young, it was a lot of prayer and laying of hands, and I loved the praise and worship, the clapping of hands, the dancing in the aisles, the smacking of the tambourine. That's what I grew up on. You guys kind of remember the beginning of the Elvis Presley documentary-esque movie that they came out with, and he's at church and everyone's jumping and having a good time, having having some great praise and worship, mentally in the mode of healing and change and prosperity and becoming a better person. This Sunday, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to spend my Sunday not on myself, but praying for the people I care about, which includes Ron Patton, which includes Clyde Lewis, which includes Chris France, our producer here. Also, the people of the past, such as Bill over at KGRA, who supported this broadcast a very long time before KGRA. The website's still there, and they still have a lot of reruns of the broadcast, but unfortunately, the broadcasts are no longer live over there. So you guys want to know where it's at, go to Ground Zero Plus. This is the radio station for you. Subscribe. I know it doesn't sound like much, but coming up with a year annual subscription for, under $100, that's a bet, and you get a lot of great programs over there. I just got to let you guys know, I don't make any money off of Ground Zero Plus, but that's my family. Those are the people that have really helped me out. Just like I got my mom's side, which I would consider the Ground Zero Plus side, and then I have the daddy side, which is the Alex Jones Network, and that's my home side over there too, Infowars. And for those out there who want to ridicule me for that, that's okay. I'm okay with being right, and even though you guys don't like what I do or where I'm at, that's fine too. But drop some comments in the chat. Let me know you are here. You are here. So what has brought this episode on? I think it's probably the overall evil spirit of the world that really has gotten to me over the last few days. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but there's this crazy good movie on Amazon Prime. And if you guys haven't checked it out, it's called Nefarious. And I watched Nefarious a couple nights ago, and it's essentially about this atheist psychologist and their psychiatrist who has to go into a prison, and the prisoner is set for death row, but they need to have a bill of clearance that he is not insane, right? That he's knowledgeable of the crimes he committed, and that he needs to be signed off for to be killed by the government because he committed heinous acts in a state where the death penalty is relevant, right? And so this atheist psychiatrist, and the reason why I mentioned his theological background, is faced off with an individual who claims to be demonically possessed. And that in itself made for the whole show to be very interesting. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 34. The viewers gave it like a 96. So go check it out. It's free on Amazon Prime. I'm not going to spoil it, but I started to think about all these esoteric books I've been reading, the rejected and lost scriptures of the Bible, where in the entire books of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, books 1 and 2, the whole thing is about the devil, Satan, disguising himself as God and constantly hoodwinking and tricking Adam and Eve into doing things like following them into a desert for 8 days in one direction and then disappearing, or, Satan dropping a mountain on them and them not being able to find a way to go because they're not following God's way. They're following somebody who's imitating God, somebody who's pretending to be something good. And that's essentially, it's really interesting if you haven't read the esoteric books of the Bible, which a lot of the original scripture are based off of, or vice versa. That's something maybe I got to talk to Jay Dyer on. Jay's very well versed, and it seems like the more and more I study, the closer I get to a lot of the things that Jay Dyer believes. And if you don't know Jay, he's been on this broadcast several times over the last few years. Not the few years, in the last 15 years that we've been doing this show. But that being said, I started to think about if this world is that of a spiritual warfare, right? And we have struggles, right? We have struggles in our life. Maybe for some of you, it's temper. Some of you, it might be alcohol. Like I live in Wisconsin. It's normal for a Wisconsinite to drink a 6-pack of beer a day. And in most states, that's alcoholism, right? But it takes away from whatever the creator, or if you believe in God and that such thing. And I'm not saying you have to in order to listen to the show, but that's what I've chosen to believe. My former co-host was a believer of the Norse gods. That is, and then my one before that was an atheist Satanist who's now, in my opinion, he is now a born-again Christian. That's Mike Pachesney, the former co-host of the Rundown Live and one of the OGs that started this with me. He actually probably started the show. We'll just lay it out like that because we were a few episodes in before I joined. That being said, just like all the temptation we see in the world, for some of us, it's food, it's gluttony. We're getting fat. And because we're getting fat, we're not going to be able to accomplish whatever the mission is that our Creator has put us on this planet. It's preventing us from doing it, right? Whether it's drinking, whether it's a sex addiction, whether it's pornography, whether it's being disenfranchised. A lot of people out there are opening up their hearts to other things than Christianity and theology. And I used to ask Jordan Maxwell, who much of his life, he denied the life of Christ. He denied that Jesus Christ lived. And at the end, he said more of the things like, I don't know. I really don't know. At one point, he was certain Jesus never lived. And I would always challenge Jordan on this. I'm like, listen, could Yeshua be a real person? And then one of the things that Jordan really said that really nailed it home for me, he goes, it's not that Christianity is that bad. It's that people are now turning to something much, much worse. And that is what William Cooper dubbed, in probably 10% of his episodes, as the New Age movement. The New Age movement. The mystery religion. The mystery religion is synonymous with the New Age movement. And he penned a lot of this New Age movement on Freemasonry, on the Illuminati, on Rosicrucianism, on things like the Knights Templar and the Knights of Malta and all these different Skull and Bones. It's all mystery religion. So where are we now with this New Age movement? Well, the idea of starseeds, and if you don't know what a starseed is, okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up my TikTok and I'm going to let them explain to you what a starseed is, right? But I'm going to read to you this. Starseeds, sometimes called star people or indigo crystal children and related frameworks, refer to the belief of a certain individuals have souls originating from other star systems, planets, or dimensions, and that they are incarnated on Earth with purpose, typically to raise collective consciousness, assist in a planetary ascension, or help humanity transition into a higher vibrational age. The idea draws a channeling, extraterrestrial contact lore, reincarnation, and notions of spiritual mission. These themes sit squarely with the New Age spirituality, which broadly mixes Western esotericism, Eastern concepts, UFO alien ideas, astrology, energy work, and expectations of coming to an enlightened era. The starseed concept was popularized in the New Age literature and communities, especially in the 1970s and 1990s, onward through books, channeling, and later online groups, and remains common in modern New Age light worker and ascension circles. How often do you hear that term, I'm going to go do some light work? Pack a lunch, time to do some light work. I'm a light worker. I'm a light worker. I raise vibrations. It's almost very narcissistic, like you're going to save the planet and help them raise it to another dimension. It's really weird. And I'm not here to make you stumble. If you believe in such a thing, you guys, I ask you to, I ask that these seeds are planted on fertile soil and that you guys have an understanding that I'm here trying to educate you, because I'm going to bring you a lot of evidence. Evidence that the New Age movement was, the flames are fired by Freemasonry and the occult and secret societies. Helena Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, we can't forget the evilest man in the world, Aleister Crowley, and all these other individuals who are obsessed with the New Age movement, and they're all obsessed with something called the New World Order. We got to raise the vibration to bring in the New World Order, and then they want to use the alien invasion as a way to unify this world under a one world religion. And that's exactly what the damn thing that William Cooper said that was going to damn this planet and bring in the age of the Antichrist. And now for the people out there that are listening and they don't understand what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and talk about starseeds. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and put this on the screen for you guys, and we're going to play some of this audio. We're going to have you guys check this out. And I want you guys to hear from their own words. We're going to play some of these. We're going to pause some of these, and we're going to discuss, because there's some things in frameworks. One of the things I noticed is all these people who are starseeds are disenfranchised. They're either nerdy or they're weird or they don't feel like they fit in the society. They were probably abused as children. They might have multiple personalities, maybe bipolar. They're very sexual. Like, let's twin flame. Let's get the twin flame going. It's free love, free sex, flower child, plant that seed. I'm a flower girl and everyone gets to pollinate. That kind of mentality. Of course, your body's your holy temple on top of it. But they believe that they're celestial beings from other planets and their soul comes from someplace else. Because some people believe, and in government papers, that your body is a container. And that can be very true. And if that is true, that means that anything can come and go from your container, including possession. In the Bible, it says that Jesus, the demons begged Jesus to show that he had power over them to not destroy them, but to cast them into the pigs, which they went ahead and drowned themselves in the pig's body to free themselves from those containers. Yeshua. So we're going to play some of these. Here we go.
Consciousness are assisting in planetary remembrance right now. They offer guidance, energetic support, and wisdom. But they didn't send you here so you could long to go back there. Earth holds something none of these origin streams can offer on their own: the capacity to integrate source remembrance directly into the body, to stabilize it, to make it real in physical form, living, breathing, walking coherence. This is the one place where it becomes embodied. That longing to go home to a star origin, when it comes from a place of incompletion or pain, or the feeling that Earth isn't your real home, is a spiritual trap dressed as higher truth. It amplifies internal fractures.
I know a starseed when I see one. I have a gift. Trust me when I tell you, I know a starseed that just hasn't awakened or expanded their consciousness yet. There's a certain frequency, there's a certain vibration that a starseed emits that you just feel it, you just know it. You know what I'm saying. You know when someone is here on an Earth mission, when someone has that extraterrestrial energy to them. You're like, I see you, fam. I see you, fam. Yeah, we here. We here. We are not the same. I am a Martian. It's fun. No, it's really fun. It's really fun. Being on a mission on another planet? What? What are we doing? What are we doing?
I want to mention that Starseeds accrue 1 billion views. 1 billion views! If I made a video proving that 9/11 was an inside job and Mossad was responsible, no one would see it. But the algorithms are allowing for this kind of nonsense to make it all over the place. Starseeds, right? The idea that you come from another planet. It's LARPing. There's no way to prove any of this other than you feel a little different and that you don't belong to this planet. And if you notice, we're going to continue with this theme. It's always a highly attractive person who's slightly ditzy, that doesn't feel like that they don't fit in, and there's no science behind it. They're just like, oh, my soul comes from another planet. Oh, there's multiple dimensions. Well, where do they learn this? They learn this from the cultists. Oh, all of a sudden there's a Galactic Federation of Light. Allegedly, I met somebody from the Galactic Federation of Light at Contact in the Desert. Well, it's funny. They're all following this Commander Ashtar. It sounds a lot like Ashtaroth, a demon. Because, a demon wouldn't come in and be like, I'm Ashtaroth. No, I would come in as the Galactic Federation of Light. I'm a light worker. And they're going to save our planet. And there's like multi-galaxy politics, amongst other things. And the idea that people believe this without any evidence and just a bunch of like influence, right? All these people feel that they're clairvoyants, they feel like they're psychics, they feel like they're reading the tarot cards, and they're speaking to their ancestors. Oh, they're holding the rods of truth that go and they come together and they cross, and it must be truth, or they spread apart. How do you know you're not talking to a demon? I just want to know. How do you know you're not talking to an evil spirit that's like how does this know? How does the spirit know things about me that nobody else knows? Well, how do you know the demon wasn't in the room when it was happening? So I got questions. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you're a starseed. I do see a lot of them tend to be very weird and narcissistic, and that's okay to be weird and narcissistic if that's what you want. I don't believe that makes you a bad person inherently. You can do good, but narcissists tend to be people who are continuously doing people wrong and hurting people. We're going to keep going here. I'm just telling you the truth of this is what the New Age movement is. This is what William Cooper warned us about. Let's continue.
What are we doing? Phone home. Phone home. Y'all coming to pick me up? What? Not yet. Call them. Let them know we're ready. We here, baby. The Starseeds are in the building. Mission complete. No, but seriously, I do know a starseed when I see one.
What? Starseeds, let's talk about this. We are all one, but dimensionally there is an incredible diversity of starseeds, and every star race has a unique mission. As a Sirian-Arcturian hybrid, mine is to awaken the next evolution of humanity.
Oh, they're going to wake all of humanity up.
Because their hearts radiate.
Anne, are you crazy?
I'm not crazy now. I lived a crazy life. I was raised in a crazy family, and it took me 31 years to get the crazy out of me. I had another personality. I had a fantasy world that I escaped to. I called my other personality Celestia. I called the other world that I created for myself the fourth dimension. I believed I was from that world. I believed I was from another planet. I think I was insane.
How did it manifest itself? What were your powers? What did you see in yourself?
Wow. So many different things. What could I do when I was Celestia? I spoke a different language. I spoke a different language that God and I spoke together. I could, you name it, I could do it. I could see into the future. I could heal people.
Can you still remember that language you spoke?
Of course.
Can you do any of it?
Sure. What would you like me to say?
I don't know. Anything.
Well, the word for God, okay, a lot of it is prayer. The word for God in my language was called Kines. Akunes, akaforta tunadon. It is a good fortune, Istadon, to be here.
And that's a language you never
I don't know where it came
learned
from.
and not even know what it means.
Goo goo gaga jaja. That means God in my language. This lady is explaining that she was mentally ill, that their trauma helped her build this alternative personality. And because of that, she believed that she had her own world and her own dimension she created. We'll call it the fourth dimension. They believe there's 12 dimensions. I'm not saying that that's something science is proving, that there's multiple dimensions, right? And there's lower consciousness and higher consciousness. But I want to know is how do these people know what they're talking with and who they're dealing with and what they believe is not just a demon or an angel. I'm not saying that, all psychics are evil. I'm not saying that that isn't an ability that we may have built in inherently in all our bodies. I'm talking about people who use tarot cards, talking boards, Ouija boards. How do you know you're talking to your ancestor? How do you know when you use these little copper rods that it isn't a demon giving your answers? You don't know. You don't know what you're getting into if you believe in such things. You just don't. It's New Age. It's the New Age movement. This is what William Cooper warned about in the Christian church in the Bible, which they called the mystery religion, mystery Babylon, the whore of Babylon in Revelations. That's what this is.
I'm a starseed. A lot of people ask me, how do I know if I'm a starseed? But nobody seems to ask, what is it like to be a starseed? Starseeds are alien consciousness born into human bodies. Because of our unique energy signatures, we have pretty hard lives. Being a starseed is a super lonely experience. It feels like nobody understands you, and it feels like your family is far away in space. Starseeds have a super different energy signature than other Earthlings. Because of this, they're often diagnosed with severe mental illness because of their inability to just go about life like nothing is wrong.
Severe mental illness. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I wouldn't disagree that people have been through some traumatizing things and they built themselves a little Palladian starseed personality to deal with whatever the trauma was in their real life. Because that's really what the New Age movement was about, building these sex slaves with Aleister Crowley, the MK Ultra Monarch program, the MK Ultra, the MK Naomi, all that stuff. What was that? Operation Midnight Climax, all of it. But we'll continue. This is Unicorn here. She's a starseed, and it's always this borderline attractive female or male that literally is like, obviously this chick is all tattooed. I mean, but no other better way to say that you're a salvage unit with 300,000 miles needing help. So I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying that's how you're advertising yourself here.
They can see the corruption.
And are you?
Let's see.
So there's a lot of people.
Oh, here's
who
Elizabeth
are
April. She's on all the Gaia
cutting
stuff.
cords with friends, family members, neighbors, even really kind of having their last straw with coworkers in the workplace. And I really wanted to dig into why that is. And I realized that in order to move into the higher frequency or the new Earth frequency or 5D or whatever you want to call it, just like a better life in general, we have to clear all of the karmic ties with the people in our life. So you may have a lot of people in your
So disassociate yourself with anyone that is not mentally ill, that's probably telling you you're mentally ill, and that you got to cut those negative people off. Just embrace the mental illness or the demon possession. And I'm not saying they're possessed. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. I'm telling you that this is a wolf in sheep's clothing at the end of the day. Are there aliens out there? Very possibly. But are they starseeds with their souls that came from another planet? I think it's a whole bunch of malarkey being sold to help push a trans agenda, because these people are technically trans alien. They believe that they're grays.
Their life, but some of those people are not actually in the new frequency themselves.
They're not believing that they're Palladian starseeds. I'm just translating.
Hanging on to guilt, resentment, judgment, blame, projection, whatever that may be.
That's everything her doctor is telling her because she's probably mentally ill. I'm telling you, man, 1 billion views are given to these people. Shit, man, I die to get 10 million these days, although I do get 10 million on occasion, but it's always something that's like doesn't matter to society. It's some people saying we need to put conservatives in concentration camps and give them re-education. Like, it's always something like that. But here we got Starseeds talking about how they believe their souls come from another planet, and they're accruing 1 billion views because there's a whole society that has built this ulterior personality, the cosplay movement, furry culture, all that crap. E-girls, everything. It all ties into this New Age movement. And here, this is the face of the New Age movement. I guarantee you that this female probably makes a living off of making these bullshit videos like Laura Faye saying that some fairies are going to light fires around you to protect you from dragons. And people buy it because they don't want to live in reality. They want to live in the fairy world that they build up instead of dealing with the trauma that they have, facing the fact that they've been misled, and it's easier to just build a whole new personality. It's like being in a video game and you screw up and you just create your new World of Warcraft character because it didn't end up the way you like. Your life didn't end up the way it was, so instead of correcting the problem and starting all over again with the knowledge you have, you're going to just erase things and just say you're a Palladian starseed. And I know that I'm a starseed because I feel different. I feel like my family isn't here because my family doesn't support me. Well, of course they don't support you. You're mentally ill and they want you to get help. You don't want to get help, so you build a new personality that says you're some galactic babe that wants a twin flame and use the Galactic Federation as your hub, of Commander Ashtar or Ashtaroth.
And there may still be either past life connections or childhood connections or just sort of skewed perceptions in the relationship itself. Now, in order to clear these karmic bonds, the number one thing that I've learned is you have to figure out why you're back together. You have to figure out what the lesson is.
The dark side of being a starseed. The Matrix will reject you. You will be blocked from any kind of normal life. You go try to get a 9-to-5, you will be traumatized as fuck because you
can't work because you're mentally ill and you're traumatized as fuck. Hi, I don't want to work. Who doesn't want to work? Who doesn't fit that persona? I hate work. We all hate work.
Have a lot of light. You will draw in very dark people. On top of that, you will play the black sheep and the cycle breaker in your bloodline, which means you will have to go no contact with certain family members at different points. You'll also
probably people that are telling you you're mentally ill. It's the same story over and over again. I'm trying to show you guys there's a pattern with these individuals.
You have extreme rejection sensitivity from all the experiences of public humiliation. You will also never sync up with societal timelines. Advanced souls master the 3D later on in life because you're so busy just trying to survive this planet. On top of that, you are seen as the crazy conspiracy theorist because you are awake and aware to what is going on this planet. But ever since the Epstein files dropped, you're less crazy. Starseeds will often end up in rehabs and mental health centers. And we are literally gaslit to think that we are insane. Our mental health struggles are because...
So it's not that we are crazy. It's that everyone else is crazy and we're normal. This is the New Age movement. This is the satanic Luciferian plot, the oldest plot set up and delivered by Semiramis, Nimrod's mother and wife, the whore of Babylon, known for the Hanging Gardens, known for a bunch of great works, known for building ziggurats. I'm telling you the truth. And if you don't like the truth, that's fine. You know, people out there don't want to hear it, and that's cool. People will say, Kristan, you're being judgy. No, I'm telling you the facts. They're like, if somebody has a cold, and I say, oh, they have a cold, and they're saying, you're judging them. They have a cold. I'm not saying you that this person is going to heaven or hell or where their soul is. That's above my pay grade. What I'm telling you is you're being hoodwinked into living a lie if you believe this trash, and society and the Aleister Crowley crowd and everything that is satanic Luciferianism wants you to buy into this. These, like, listen to this, like, oh, I'm a light worker, I'm going to change the world. Come on. I'm telling you that I'm not here to sugarcoat things anymore. I'm here to tell you that this is all demonic in many shapes and forms. Now, are these people demonic? Are they possessed? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I'm not an exorcist, and I can tell you I have my own demons I got to fight every day. I'm being attacked by demons, right? We all are. Evil has found a way into our life, and this is another way. Oh, okay, so these people who are mentally ill, they disassociate. Anyone that's telling them that they have problems, oh, they're crazy, and they don't know what they're talking about, because that's what the New Age culture wants you to believe.
You're super psychic trying to navigate this dense-ass planet. It's fucking ghetto here. But the good news is your soul saw all this shit.
Spoken like a bunch of good people. Like, that sounds very loving. That sounds like something that Jesus would say right there.
Let's talk about starseeds in a grounded way. These are the most common archetype groups that people are going to resonate or have DNA with, and the traits that often come with them. Hi, I'm Sarah Starr, one of Earth's many Galactic Federation ambassadors, here to guide you on the remembrance of who you truly are. So if you landed...
Who hires you as a Galactic Federation ambassador? Where do you get this direction? Is one day you wake up, you're like, I'm a Galactic Federation ambassador. Where's the credentials?
On this page, make sure you follow, because there's a lot more that's coming. You think disclosure is just starting? It's already started. So buckle up, let's get into it. The most common DNA that we're going to see here on planet Earth is associated with the archetype group of the Pleiadians.
Oh,
Pleiadians have heart-centered healing.
Okay.
They also have a lot of emotional intelligence. These are common with compassion-based awakening. So if you're having a spiritual awakening that there's a lot of compassion and emotions behind, it's a good indicator that you are Pleiadian or have that type of DNA within you. They are very empathetic. They are relationship healers, where they at least attempt to do that. And they're also very, very creative. Octurians, they provide higher dimensional guidance. They are really the consciousness mechanics of the universe. If you're a structured spiritual thinker, this could be associated with your DNA. Somebody who is obsessed with the energy grids or providing them their own energy to the frequency grids. They're also centered around like sacred geometry. They play with data codes a lot and reality architecture. I mean, they build the bioships for other extraterrestrial races. So if you're looking...
How does this lady know any of this? And where are the feds? If she knows so much, where's the freaking government coming in saying, lady, you're talking too much? You know, it's because it's all malarkey. It's all a LARP. It's all cosplay. There are no Arcturians. There are no Pleiadians. There are no reptilians. Like, we want to believe it. That's cool. Yeah, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't think it's true. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Go prove it. And I probably can't. It'd be just like me trying to prove that there's a demon out there that possesses people. There's people that say that they're possessed. They crawl in their stomach. They float onto the ceiling. And they walk on walls. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. You want to be an Arcturian. You want to be a Pleiadian. Go ahead. Be a Starseed. follow that world. But I'm going to tell you right now, in the Bible, this is exactly what it warns about that is going to happen in the future, and that this is the New Age movement. And who started and who really funded the idea of the New Age movement? Well, none other than Freemasonry. And you're like, Kristan, you don't know what you're talking about. Then why is Freemasons' main book called, their magazine that comes out every month is called The New Age Magazine? You can't make this up. Here it is right on the screen. The New Age Magazine is the official publication of the Supreme Council, the 33rd degree. Because the 33rd degree is enlightened into the mystery religion. It's enlightened into the occult. Occultism. For the longest time, all throughout history, occultism for the majority has been associated with demonic possession, with demonology, with being possessed, with many different things. And now I understand some of these things could be tools into the spiritual realm, like doing drugs, like psychedelics, all those things. But it's a gateway to allow these things into your life if you don't know what you're doing. But I just want you to let you know, the New Age magazine was put out by Freemasonry. It's one of the oldest publications by Freemasonry. And if I remember right, I think it was Lucius Funds, like Lucifer, Lucius Funds, that put out the New Age movement. And so what is the New Age movement? It's the mystery religion of Babylon. It's symbolism. It's occultism, amongst other things. That's how we lead to things like this. This is an interesting video of a former NBA player. Now he's saying he's trans. He identifies as a lesbian, which I do too. I probably identify as a lesbian. I'm more trans financial. I identify as a billionaire, so I should be given billions of dollars. And if you don't identify my ones as hundreds, then you are a prejudice and you are no better than a racist to me. And I can't say I know everything, but check this out. This is what's going on in the world today. This is Alex Jones being open, inviting somebody that's trans onto his program, and he's talking about wanting to join the NBA. This is Royce Wright, originally, I believe.
I'm sometimes identifying as a black transgender lesbian. That conversation, that decision, I think, personally, is something that's going to, be made collectively by people assigned female at birth, and they're going to have to decide whether or not any institutions for females, women assigned female at birth are valuable anymore. I don't think, why do we need those? We should just make the game as entertaining as possible, as valuable as possible, right? As profitable as possible. It's obvious that if LeBron James and me and Enos and Kyrie Irving or any of the other, men assigned male at birth people, players decide to come over, the game will be much more entertaining and much more competitive.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a global exclusive for you. Royce White is a woman who is stunning and brave. And we have this exclusive breaking news. Last night, Royce White hosted 2 hours of Sunday Night Live, and she announced her plan to go into the WNBA draft, the Women's NBA. And here's the Gateway Pundit has picked up the story. Former NBA player Royce White, now a woman, throws her wig and everything else she's got into the ring and embraces her feminine era ahead of 2027 NBA draft bid. So Royce White joins us right now to give us more details of this. And of course, this is serious. Royce is formerly a male, but switched out, the chromosomes, the X and Y's, and moved those around. And we have to support this. When we support biological men in boxing and in MMA and in track and field and in everything else. And so this is a very serious move by former Royce White, now Royce White. And so I'm wondering if the WNBA is going to try to block this. We actually have some footage that will also be showing you of Royce actually on the basketball court in some of the earlier tryouts. and what unfolded there. So we were showing some of that earlier before Roysha joined us, but I do want to show that again. So Roysha, I want to just say that, ma'am, it is an honor to have you. And I just can't wait to see you be the #1 woman in the WNBA. I know you're a great basketball player, did pretty good against the men there. I wouldn't say you're up there at Michael Jordan level, but I think you will be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. So congratulations, ma'am. And I just want to say that I think you're stunning and brave.
Well, thank you, Alex. And I appreciate you allowing me to tell a little bit of my story, my trans story last night live on air. You are very tolerant. I know they give you a lot of flack for being this far-right extremist, this conspiracy theorist. But most of the hate that I've received, in these early days has been from the left and people who I would consider allies. So I really want to say I appreciate you giving me a platform and allowing me to tell my trans story last night and again today. It's a true honor.
Well, I just totally embrace it. I mean, I think that you can't be selective about this. I think anybody that wants to be a woman should be a woman, and I think you should be able to have a baby. And I think that if you want to go into a gynecologist and demand they do a pap smear on you, nurses and doctors get fired that refuse to do it on biological males, I think they should do it. And so why did you decide to do this? Tell us about your journey. And I wonder if you'll be on the cover of Time Magazine, Newsweek, like we saw previously with other Olympic athletes, males that became females. I mean, tell us about this incredible thing you've done.
Well, first I have to pay homage to my ancestors and all of the strong black women that came before me, because there are so many strong black women that came before me. And it's interesting. I'm getting all these calls. My friends, they're saying, "Is this serious? Are you really going to play?" I think we should get a shot. I mean, I don't understand why the WNBA would be against it. And again, to be clear, I just want to be clear for everybody out there, because I know this gets kind of complicated, but I am sometimes identifying as a black transgender lesbian, just so we're clear about the specifics, because I know in my new community, the trans community, the identifiers and the terms are so important. I am sometimes identifying as a black transgender lesbian. But I'm getting all these calls and people are saying, well, why are you doing this? Why are you really going to play? Of course I'm going to play. Why wouldn't I get an opportunity to play with my fellow queens, in my feminine era during my glow up?
Well, there are other very masculine women in weightlifting, in the different combat sports, literally breaking women's jaws. So, yeah. I mean, I don't see a problem with this. You're not going to be breaking women's jaws. Well, I mean, I guess if they're white players, white players, though, it'll be okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is a partial contact sport. It's not a full contact sport like the combat sports. But hey, I mean, maybe if I could lose the weight and get down to, I don't know what it is, 155, I think. 155, 165 is the heaviest women's division in mixed martial arts or combat sports in the UFC. Maybe if I get down to 165 without killing myself, Dana White will let me participate in the women's division of the UFC.
You'd probably become the heavyweight champion.
Well, I think they have to create a new division. I don't even think there are many women that would be in the 260-plus pound division. But that's combat sports. We're talking basketball. I mean, basketball is a whole different proposition, right? And we're only going to make the game better. This is going to elevate the game. People have to understand, and I say this with all seriousness, men playing in the WNBA will undoubtedly make the WNBA a better league. And when I say men because, there are people who are assigned male at birth. I was assigned male at birth. I was wrongly assigned male at birth. I've been a transgender woman caged for my whole life, and I didn't even know it. I trusted the science. I went through, elementary school and whatnot, and they used to say, these are men, these are women, you're a boy, you're a girl. Even in the school, they had the bathrooms. They were separated by boys and girls, and I really feel taken advantage of the American education system, because I mean, I came from the millennial generation, and we were lied to. We were lied to. The science. We could not trust our science when I was growing up. The science was wrong. And now that I'm liberated, all I can say to everybody else out there is, I'm every woman, like the great Shaka Khan once proclaimed.
So for people that don't know how the WNBA draft works, I mean, I guess you're going to go file for it. You're going to try out for it. And hopefully they're not going to try to block you, because all the other biological men, all these sports, they just let them come on in and even break women's jaws and stuff. And then even in Canada, they let 56-year-old men compete in girls' middle school and high school swimming now. They don't just identify as women, they identify as teenagers. I think you should probably, in your part-time, maybe you should even play high school basketball against girls.
Well, the sky's the limit, right? In the NCAA, they're having all these conversations about eligibility. I think I still have some eligibility left in college. Actually, I think I still have a few years of eligibility left in college. I think you can go back and use your eligibility in a different sport, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, maybe lacrosse or rugby or one of these sports like that. Yeah, sure. I mean, the sky's the limit. We're breaking ground here. We are shattering cultural barriers, things that should have been shattered long, long ago. And I'm just proud. I mean, I'm standing on the shoulders of Dennis Rodman and Joanna Mann and many other non-binary and gender fluid individuals that came before me.
Are you going to file a lawsuit if the WNBA tries to keep you out of the draft? Because, I mean, I know you've been in the NBA and you made it in the draft. So people that don't know how this works, what are the hurdles you face because of the still institutional suppression of the trans community in the WNBA?
Well, we have to go through the legal process, yeah. And I have my legal team looking into it. I've had great legal minds like Leo Terrell offer to help with any civil rights discrimination cases that may come up in this situation. And ultimately, it's going to be very interesting to see the determination made by the WNBA here. I'm glued to my seat like everybody else to try and figure out what are the parameters, the real criteria for eligibility in some of these professional leagues.
That was Royce White. Royce Wright, former NBA player, filing in for the WNBA to play in the female basketball league. We're going to go to some of these comments. Drop some comments in the chat. Would like to hear from you. Tiffany Rose. I'm going to have to agree with you, and we're going to fight. Sports aren't important. I kind of agree. Although I love me some hockey. I mean, it's the last sport you can punch somebody you don't like in the face. I love the Green Bay Packers. I love some football. Basketball, I've met Giannis a few times. I got friends who are professional athletes. One of the top soccer players in the United States, Tenzin Rampa, used to listen to the show. It's like, I tell you, we have some agreements, but I disagree with this statement. First of all, this just takes away from the real issue surrounding trans rights. No, actually, this statement that was just posted by you, Tiffany, that takes away from the real issue surrounding trans rights, right? Because what Royce Wright is essentially doing, I'm guessing, is he's doubling down on the ludicrous craziness of the whole trans identity movement, which was previously psychological issues, right, that we are normalizing so we can have our starseed culture in the future, right? We can have women that identify. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people with gender dysphoria. I've known some people with gender dysphoria. Is it demonic possession? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if a priest threw some holy water and somebody hissed back at him. In fact, I've watched a lot of these videos of trans people at protests act as if they were demonically influenced or possessed. And I think we all can be influenced by demons. If you believe in such a thing, we can all be influenced by God's work. But the question is what are the actual outcome? What's the actual outcome of the seeds that are planted by these ideas? People are more disenfranchised, they're more angry, they're more hateful, and the left who is really enabling the mental illness of a lot of these individuals, right? They're enabling the idea of same-sex marriage. Why? Because it eliminates population. We're dealing with eugenicists. We're talking about the big picture here. I don't care if you're gay or not gay or whatever you do in the privacy of your own home. I don't think the government should have any involvement. I don't care if you're 18 and you identify as a toilet seat because you want everyone to sit on your face. I don't. I really don't. But there's a part of me that has a mission that I want to save your soul. I do. That's part of my mission, and I'm not here to preach to you, but I am preaching to you today. I'm trying to tell you guys, there's something out there going on in the world that is pushing this mystery religion, New Age movement. It ties UFOs, which, you know, there may be life out there. I wouldn't deny that the creator of this universe has created many different species all across this collective origin of space. But I'm telling you that the demons that are on this planet, that's what the book says, that this planet is Satan's planet, are misleading us, and they are taking pleasure in humanity's suffrage of believing and normalizing these issues instead of people actually dealing with it. Because what Satan would want more than anything else is to torture God's creation and make it miserable for the rest of their lives. And you're saying, Kristan, but like just accepting this illness is making people happy. I don't know. What's depression like in those communities? I don't know. I know that when I am disappointed, it's because I struggle with something that I know I'm not supposed to be doing that's keeping me from the mission that the Creator wants me to. That's not even to talk about the robot debacle and the revolt on Flock. And by the way, there's been a lot of right-wing influencers like Tucker Carlson and Tom McDonald. You know, the white rapper there. Not Prof, but the other one. Tom McDonald. I have to joke because Prof believes he's been snubbed from Billboard charts in another industry that really doesn't matter, but music heals the soul, I think, faster than so many other things like medication. It's really important and helps people deal with things. And music is another gateway of how demon influence can come in. We learned about that with John Todd. He was in charge of Zodiac Productions, and he was in charge of, he was a member of the Collins family, Illuminati, he claimed. And he said that they used to cast demons into the vinyl and that they would follow all the masters and all the replicas into people's home and cause, problems and drama and everything else, because at the end of the day, all that matters is souls. And that's why we're having this conversation on the Rundown Live today. You don't have to like it. You guys can switch channel. That's probably what your soul would want if you're struggling. We all struggle. I struggle. I just want you to know that there is a altar you can pray on every night right before you go to bed, that there's a book you can read to change your life, and it doesn't mean you have to agree with everything in it, and that doesn't mean that man hasn't gone in there and done things to it, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned. All of that and more. Today's broadcast is to bring you up to date on what William Cooper talked about in the 1980s and 1990s about the New Age movement, and all the things that he basically believed that came true and came into fruition is now here. The alien agenda, the Starseed agenda, billions of views of misleading mentally ill people into an army of believing that they are the leaders of this world. I'm not saying that the pastors out there aren't demon-possessed and aren't the figure face of Satan and we just don't know it like the Pope. Could be true. Everywhere in the Bible it talks about, and especially it's really interesting in all these rejected scriptures that I keep reading, there's a repeating theme that Satan disguised himself as God, and instead of Adam and Eve going to God and asking him first, they believe that this is an angel he sent, or they believe that God sent them this blessings when he had nothing to do with it, and always turned sour and bad because they weren't cautious, they weren't careful, and it ends up with death, it ends up with sorrow. And so we have to ask, are trans people possessed by demons? I don't know. It could be a mental illness. There's a whole part of science that doesn't even believe in spirituality. Maybe spirituality is something that science can't improve, or can't prove yet. I want to talk to you about that Jezebel spirit that women have. They all seem to like to be starseeds. They all seem to have that Jezebel spirit. I'm not one to tell you if they're good or bad people. I've met starseeds that are wonderful people, but they always, I told one saw me drinking alcohol, and he's like, he looked down at me like I was a bad person. I want to talk about judgmental? But then they go and do their little mushroom trips and ayahuasca trips and everything else, but they want to judge you if you had a frosty beverage. That sometimes makes me wonder if I was talking to a demon and he knew that was my crutch for so many years. It's interesting. I have no interest in what people do with other people's bodies. My interest is in what people do with their souls. And you should have a worry about where your soul goes to as well. Whether it's women or males, as we saw, some of the people were attractive males in Starseeds, and a lot of the people I met throughout the years that are Starseeds are males. It's just such an interesting subject that people are trans alien. It's funny how that defensive Jezebel spirit gets into people, and they want to try to drive a wedge between the actual message of what you're saying about looking into a deeper reality of your hurt, of your harm, and actually dealing with the underlying issues and changing who you are for the better, instead of finding a little closet room that you call the fourth dimension that you believe you're some Palladian starseed from another planet with no evidence. People say, Kristan, what's the evidence that God's real? Well, look around you. This planet came from somewhere. Somebody created it. It's all ones and zeros. That being said, when you take a look, this spirit is not only translating the hate towards interesting things like, looking down at people like you're a narcissist and that you're the solution to the world's problems because you're going to bring everyone into a higher dimension. It's getting into the craziness where people are abusing robots. Here it is. This is a Wisconsin State Fair, by the way. Oh, you're just going to push a robot on the ground. Let's go ahead and show this here. We'll play this again for you guys. This is Wisconsin State Fair. Somebody has this really cool robot that they purchased with their own money. And somebody just comes and literally clotheslines it, pushes it on the ground. That's what the future is going to hold. This is what the future holds. Right here. Robots get pushed over and over and over again. So where do you stand? Have you guys listened to William Cooper? Have you guys learned of the mystery religion? Do you know how the New Age movement and Starseeds go hand in hand? Well, I can tell you, God's world, in his biblical sense, completely prohibits the idea of the New Age movements. Is it to keep us from knowledge? Like in the Garden of Good and Evil? I don't know. I want you guys to think on this today. Where is it that you stand in this idea? Because people will talk about trans people being mentally ill. Some people have genuine gender dysphoria. We just had an example of a male basketball player converting to the WNBA. And the whole idea there is to bring awareness of how ludicrous things have gone and make the WNBA take a stand, whether it's left or right or up or down or whatever it might be, so you know where they stand. The WNBA is probably not going to let Royce White in. I'm telling you right now. But then would that make them hypocritical? I can't believe we're talking about men joining WNBA and female basketball leagues on the Rundown Live. But again, he identifies as a female. I identify as a billionaire. They should allow me to go into the bank and just take out $1 billion because the bankers have it, right? Cosplay. That's all it really is a cosplay. Acting, actresses. Never dealing with the underlying issue. Channeling demons. What is that one guy, Bashar? He channels an alien from another planet. How do you know it's an alien? It could be a demon. I just got questions. All the ancient, whether it's the jinn in the Muslim community, whether it's demons in Judaism and Christianity, there's a name for it. Indians had their demons too. There's a name in just about every culture for demons and demons being cast out. I don't know what it is when somebody has an exorcism and they get their life back and they don't act like a little gremlin going and wanting to eat people and swear and hurt people. I don't know. I just come to the logical conclusion, if evil is that real, then good must be that real. There must be a God. That's the way I look at it. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but if you're offended, well, that means I planted some seeds on fertile soil. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. We got L.A. Marzulli will be joining us on Friday We're going to get into aliens and demonic possession. L.A. Marzulli has been on Ancient Aliens. He believes aliens are demons. So I'm going to ask him if aliens are also angels, because L.A. Marzulli also looks into the angel aspect. He also knows about all the different little creatures that might have been around for years. The dwarves, the gnomes. We got to bring Gary Wayne back on. That's a homie of mine. He wrote a very interesting book. He's been getting some attention. He's a minister, and we can talk a lot about this stuff. That being said, guys, if you want to support this broadcast, we need you to go to Ground Zero Plus. Share the live link. Share the live links. Tag your friends. Chop this video up. Put it on Twitter. Put it on TikTok. If you want to invest your time learning about twin flames and starseeds in a fictitious Dungeons and Dragons World of Warcraft world, well, it's just going to get crazier once they create that virtual world. And that's what they're really preparing you for, is creating a virtual world. You're going to have a chip in your head, and you're going to beam yourself into that virtual world like you're really there. And then you can build whatever realm you want to live in while your body becomes a sludgy, fat meat suit with some kind of dialysis type plug in you. So you can just sit there and spend your whole life in the virtual world. And then they're going to be like, yeah, I'll just download my consciousness into this digital realm, and you'll off yourself, because that's eugenics. That's the eugenics wet dream there. And then you can live forever in your upload world. There's a whole show on that on Amazon. But I encourage you all, go check out the movie Nefarious. It's a horror movie, and it's a psychological thriller. It's not really rated R, but I can tell you it makes the hair stand up on your arms, and there's some truth to that. It's some truth to that. That being said, guys, thanks for tuning into the Rundown Live. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Kriston T. Harris. We'll be talking a little bit about flock. I wanted to get into this as well, but we're running out of time. Flock cameras, Tom McDonald, Tucker Carlson, they're like, yeah, oh, well, I don't understand why everyone's up in arms. We're being monitored by our microwave and refrigerator. Hey, I'm just happy people are doing something. Like, I love the fact that whenever I see a flock camera that gets taken down by somebody, and I don't encourage violence and I don't encourage damage of other people's properties, the right way is to go to your city council. Tell them you want to put a flock camera in every cop's home so you can see where the crimes are being committed. All of a sudden, the cops don't want flock cameras outside their home or in their home. Of course they don't. Nobody wants to be monitored. But the fact that our government will go ahead and try to do this, a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights with stingray and hailstorm, and slowly ease it in by putting cameras everywhere, we should be upset. We should be outraged. And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the tinders of a fire, right? The kindling of a fire, the book burning, right? Isn't that why they call it Kindle? Because then they can edit all the books in digital format and change what they say, and you don't know if it's been changed because you don't have the original book at home because it's a book burning. Maybe that's why they call it Kindle. I don't know. But the real idea is that people have a fire in their soul. The conservatives and liberals finally are putting apart their differences, and they can agree that we don't want flock cameras outside of gun ranges, because that's where they're putting them. Right here in Cudahy, Wisconsin, where I used to live, they pulled it down. Here, let me pull up that video and we'll end on this. You guys should check this out, though. It's so weird to me that people have become so complacent. They're saying, well, now, why are you upset now? No, we need to tell people that there's more things there's more work to be done. Good. We're rounding up the troops. People are getting excited. Finally, Americans are doing something about surveillance. Finally. And people out there are like, well, what's the big deal? It's been going on this whole time. Well, Tucker Carlson, wrong answer. Ben Swan, wrong answer. Here it is.
As TJ Dysart joins us live at Eagle Sports Range near Layton and Pennsylvania in Cudahy. And TJ, the general manager there, has taken all of the flock cameras down on the property.
Yeah, that's right. Good evening to you, Kendall. This is one of the poles where those flock cameras used to stand, posted up right here in the parking lot. They were pointing towards the business at the time. Now, all of this after a woman posted a video online showing the flock cameras.
Tell me why there are flock cameras pointing into the entrance of the parking lot, not the street.
So that video quickly went viral, and staff at the range tell us it's what prompted them to take action. The range says the cameras were installed in 2023 after other gun ranges in Milwaukee were broken into. The goal, they say, was to deter criminal activity and protect customers and property. But around February of this year, staff say they started looking into privacy concerns surrounding the cameras. They say they contacted Flock and asked for the cameras to be removed, but were told they were contractually obligated to keep them in place. Now, this week, the the range removed the cameras, and staff say they're prepared to deal with whatever consequences that may follow.
For us, it was just a good push in the right direction to be like, you know what? The heck with this contract, we'll deal with that later on. We're still going to take these cameras down. We own our own privacy, but when that privacy gets infringed, then what are we doing? What kind of nation are we going to become?
And TJ, the facility does still have surveillance cameras on the property.
Surveillance cameras, but surveillance cameras, you can turn that on and off. Those are privately owned. The government doesn't have access to them. That being said, you guys are listening to the Rundown Live on Ground Zero Plus. Support us. Go to groundzeroplus.com. I haven't checked the chat in probably since the last comment here. Well, I see that there's a bunch of comments. What's up, Night Dragon? What's up, hey, Tiffany? You know, we love you here. I'm just telling you how it is. Wild Rose, what's up? It says this is on loop. Intentionally, Jason Wango. What's up? Chris from the UK. Chris France, how you doing, brother? That being said, you guys be blessed. Whatever it is, find your gurus, find your love, find God, find Yeshua, find whatever it is that finds you peace and happiness. But just be careful of the Starseed movement. I'm telling you, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is the New Age movement that the Bible and William Cooper warned us about for years and years and years. I'm Kriston T. Harris. You're listening to the Rundown Live on Ground Zero Plus. Find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Rumble. There's people watching right now on Rumble and on YouTube. We need your support. Send me a money bomb if you want. You can donate Venmo.com/Kriston T. Harris. You can send me a PayPal /PayPal.me Kriston T. Harris. There's links in the comments or in the description. We need your support. 100% of what you invest comes here. And we're working on a documentary. We're getting that all outlined. Might be coming to a neighborhood near you. That and a whole bunch more on MK Ultra. And I'm going to interview some MK Ultra survivors. I want to know what they say. Now the question is how do we prove that they're real? Huh? Good question. All right, guys, stay blessed. We'll see you soon. And as you guys know, if you haven't checked out, I've been on InfoWars a lot lately. Those guys have been blessing me with a lot of airtime. Rex Jones. I saw Harrison Smith. He shared this post or was checking in on this post while we were watching. The guys over there at the Alex Jones Network, appropriately, right? The InfoWars isn't around anymore. Have been tuning in, and I want to shout out to Chris France, who's been helping this program, Ron Patton, and we have some great guests joining us this week. Micah Danks might be joining us. We got some cool stuff we're going to dive into. But today I felt it was necessary. Watch Nefarious. Watch Nefarious. Watch Nefarious.
Now you don't know it.
Nefarious. Watch Nefarious. I'm telling you. Go to Amazon.
You're listening to the Rundown Live.
You guys have a good night.
With Kriston T. Harris. Your protection from deception. Your forecast into the future.